Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with more F1 Manager 24. Yes, we're back this time out once again with the challenge mode inside the game. And now I know in the last video I mentioned now I was going to be doing these live on stream. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to actually live stream any F1 Manager this week. I apologise. I've been very busy trying to get prepared ready for the Le Mans 24 this weekend on iRacing. Hopefully by the time this video has gone live, we'll have survived the race. Maybe we did well, maybe we didn't, maybe we crashed out after an hour, and I've got absolutely nothing to report on from the weekend. But yeah, I thought today, as a bit of a casual Sunday video, we would dive back in and attempt another of the challenges inside this game. Now, obviously, I've been trying a few of them on stream. We completed the Shanghai one last time out. I'm going to avoid Silverstone. That one is definitely going to have to be a live one because it's basically RNG, is what I've learned inside this game. So I think today we are going to try, I think we'll go to Montreal. So we've got 44 laps in the V-Carb, and we've got to try and earn at least 10 points from the weekend. This is currently rated a 1 spice difficulty, but ultimately they doesn't seem to have much correlation inside this game. Logan Sargent has crashed and there's a safety car here in Montreal. RB have a strong position on track, but clever tactics will be required to make that advantage last. The track is currently dry, but with everyone on inters and rain once again imminent, the decision made right now will affect the rest of the race. Can RB get a double point finish here in Canada? Now, 10 points is quite a few. We need, I believe, 7th and 8th from the Grand Prix, or fastest lap bonus point as well there. But yeah, that's not going to be particularly easy in this Grand Prix. And we've got a lot of the race still to go, so yeah, let's head into it, see what we've got. Immediately then, we'll quickly take a pause and have a look at everything going on. So Ricciardo is currently in that 7th. Tsunoda is down in 10th place there ahead of both Ferraris. Perez is way down the order as well. So we can see, yeah, we've really only got, you know, Norris, Verstappen, Russell, Piastri, Alonso, and Hamilton that are kind of big threats in front of us. In terms of the rain, then, it is meant to flare back up, but then we're going to see another dry period towards the end of the afternoon. We can see, yeah, it has basically stopped raining whatsoever, but I think we're likely going to see a switch. I reckon it's probably going to be in our best interest to stay on the intermediates under this. No, to be fair, you're under safety car. Both sets of tyres are looking pretty warm. I reckon what we're going to do, we're going to box both cars onto a set of the dries. But obviously they won't stay on them for very long here. So we're going to try and really make this pit stop work. And of course then switch back over to the intermediates in the not too distant future. Obviously we'll save some fuel. We'll save some battery as well. And everything like that, of course, under the safety car to make sure that obviously we're in the best position possible. Ready for the second half of this Grand Prix there. Tsunoda's actually got a little bit more battery, which I guess is good as well. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, one of those races of obviously trying to stay out of trouble, as there's an 80% chance of rain over the next couple of laps as well. So, yeah, where are we currently then? So it is literally just about to start raining again. That maybe wasn't the right choice. Perhaps it was going to be worth going back out onto another set of the intermediates. We're the only car on dry compound tyres. I think immediately this might have been the wrong call. I think we're going to immediately go and restart that one. So I think it's going to be worth starting instantly on the intermediate tyres here. That's a bit of a very quick fail, but I do kind of do these challenges to hopefully help you guys out. Obviously, if you want to take them on as well. You know, like I've said, I fully intend on trying to complete every single one inside this game. So there we go. Once again, we'll go full conserve, everything like that. And yeah, but this time around, we'll make sure that both drivers are actually going to set the intermediates ready for the pit stop there. Because, yeah, that rain actually rolls in slightly quicker than I was expecting it to here. Can we get away without a Yuki pit stop issue? Or is that just kind of simulated inside this? As Tsunoda making his way into the box. So hopefully, yeah, this time around we're going to have a nice, clean, tidy stop there. Ricciardo's still come back out in, I believe, 7th. And Tsunoda, there we go. So we can actually have a clean, tidy pit stop as well then, which is good news. So P13 for Yuki, P7 for Danny Rick. How are the tyres looking for other drivers? So, Magnussen's on worn tyres, Ocon's on worn tyres, but Albon is on fresh ones. So, we've got to try and get around Stroll as well then. Safety car coming into the pits at the end of this lap. So, yeah, we need to try and make sure... I don't know why the tyres are so warm. That's not ideal for us. But, yeah, Ricciardo, I think for him, is just going to be about trying to hang on to position. Yuki, yeah, we've got to try and carve our way back through. I mean, theoretically, I reckon we could go to the end on this set. But, yeah, it is meant to dry out once again in the next few laps here. So we'll just start simming forward a little bit. And it is going to be green flag racing once again here in Montreal. So let's wait and see then whether Tsunoda can make much of an impact. I'm expecting Leclerc to be a bit of a threat off this restart there, but he's gonna just sit in behind us. We've luckily been able to save up all the fuel that we needed to. I'm just gonna monitor the temperatures over this first lap, see what the tyres do. I think they are slowly going back in to a good region there, as Ricciardo under a little bit of pressure from Magnussen. I think what we need to do with Ricciardo, push on, try and use up all the fuel, all the battery, everything like that. Keep Magnussen at bay as we make our way back down towards turn 1. So you can see Magnussen there trying to have a look for it. I mean, he's on much more worn tyres, so hopefully Ricciardo going to be able to hang on to the position. And yeah, just build up a little bit of a gap. Like we said, Ricciardo, we only need him to safely finish in that P7 position. So if he can just start breaking away a little bit more, then that can be good. And then we can basically just monitor on what Yuki's trying to do towards the end of the race as well. There is, I think we've immediately got him out of the range. Tsunoda making the move on Ocon as well a little bit further back. But yeah, that's immediately then quite good going there, as Hamilton instantly, as soon as he gets that fastest lap, he's going to lock up as well then. So yeah, Stroll's now got the move on Magnussen. So I think it's going to be difficult to try and keep him at bay for too long here. But as long as we stay with him towards the end of the afternoon, as Albon now makes the move on Magnussen as well. So I think his tyres are looking pretty worn out here. We'll try and go attack as well with Yuki. We know we're going to see the drivers back over to a set of dries before the end. So this is just really, really important at this stage of the race there, that we try and keep both of them close together and maybe try to use Stroll as well a little bit further back here. Is trying to get the run then around the outside of Magnussen to hopefully elevate us up into the points, which Yuki will pull off clean and tidy there. So Ricciardo, we're going to bring him back down to neutral. He's able to keep Stroll at bay there. He's actually got a little bit of a gap over Stroll as well, as Albon pushing on quite nicely on that set of the intermediates as well then. So we'll just try and see if we can get Yuki up into that P8. Just make sure then that the game is happy with the objective there. So we'll try and go high overtake aggression as well. He's got perfect confidence in the car. And we're going to continue to boost that then, as around the outside of Albon will go. Maybe not for good. Albon there will get the run back on us off of the corner. But can we try and get the run? I mean, that Williams is so fast in a straight line. I think we'll just tone him back down again. They don't want to scrub his confidence too badly, too quickly. So, yeah, I think just we'll stay in behind Alex Albon then over the next few laps here. Just kind of see how things go. We can still afford to push fairly aggressively on these tyres, as Hamilton actually not really getting away either, which I guess is good news. In fact, Hamilton, yeah, is really starting to struggle at this stage of the GP. So we might be able to get him up into 6th place then with Danny Rick. Just starting to overheat that engine a little bit, so we'll be a bit more careful. Yeah, if we could get Ricciardo up to 6th then, that would be really, really useful at this stage of the race there. Especially, yeah, if Hamilton is just struggling a little bit more on that set. Not urgent, you know, don't want to desperately make the move, as rain has now stopped again. So that's it for good now in this Grand Prix. So I would have thought it's going to be a set of mediums to the checkered flag. But yeah, now it's going to be very, very interesting to kind of see when everybody has to make their pit stops here, because it isn't as simple now as kind of like the 1 mil of rain that we've seen on previous games, as Yuki again just tucked up behind Alex Albon. So I think we've got to try and go. So Yuki, yep, we've got to try and go for it with him again. As Ricciardo, yeah, still waiting in the wings there, as Hamilton and Alonso now starting to battle it out in front. So I think, yeah, 7th and 8th still is going to be all that is sensibly viable from this race. But as that rain, yeah, is really, really starting to taper off pretty quickly, actually. Definitely not going to be long before we need to box into the pit lane there, as Sainz further behind is going to make the move. We've got yellows out temporarily, as Zhou makes a lock up down at turn 12. Can we now get the run on Albon? Surely down the inside now will go. And that's going to be a nice done deal. So track now is apparently dry. So I think, I mean, are we going to see Verstappen into the pits at the end of the lap? Are we going to see the AI start making that gamble, or is it worth just hanging on a little bit longer? I think we're going to take the gamble with Yuki. We're going to try and get him over onto a set of the mediums to the end of the afternoon. They should go to the checkered flag here. We'll keep Ricciardo out at least one extra. But I guess, yeah, we're basically just using Yuki as a bit of a test mule at this stage of the day, as nobody else peels into the pit lane then. Ricciardo's actually going to lose the place to Stroll as well, a little bit further in front. But yes, that rain continues to fall off them. Surely it's going to be good for us at this stage of the afternoon there, as onto a set of the mediums will go. 2.7 second stop isn't bad going either, and hopefully we'll come out ahead of Magnussen in that Haas car as well. So let's just monitor that gap to Charles Leclerc in front. We know he's got mechanical gremlins, but as Yuki gets back out onto the circuit, got to try and build up some temperature. Come on, get on with it, Yuki. Not sure this is going to work for us. He's crawling along through that middle sector, desperate to try and get a little bit of temperature in those tyres. So yeah, he's going to have to really push aggressively on this outlap. You can see it's really struggling to try and get up to pace. Albon still, yeah, a few seconds behind Ricciardo. There we go. It's starting slowly but surely to come back to us a little bit more. Come on, Yuki. I think, yeah, we'll just keep Ricciardo out for at least another lap there. As, yeah, nobody else into the pit lane just yet. Admittedly, yeah, he's not losing as much, except for in the corners. In the corners, he's losing quite a bit still. But he is slowly getting there with it. So, yeah, I think if we just leave Yuki to push on, as there we go, ERS even is empty. But now that gap's starting to work, as Ricciardo is going to be out in the lead of the Grand Prix. So I think we might have just left him one lap too long. Yeah, Ricciardo will just go and try and box him now then. So Ricciardo, yep, mediums to the end as well. I think, yeah, we might have just kept him out one lap too long here, but the AI is still struggling to fire up their tyres, so it might not be the end of the world. As Sonoda now will move up into P7 then, so Yuki's flying here, and is trying to make some moves on other cars as well. Where is Ricciardo going to come out in comparison? Just wait and see. 2.9 second stop isn't particularly great. That might not have worked out too badly for Ricciardo here, as now Yuki just got to be a little bit careful on that fuel and tyres. So Ricciardo will come out all the way down. Will he get ahead of Yuki? I think he will. So look at that. I'm at a P5 and P6 then. So we are at the objective at the moment, as they've driven through each other. I'm not quite sure how that one works, but they have driven through each other at this stage of the GP. So I think Ricciardo then, he obviously needs to push aggressively on this outlap. We need to make sure that the drivers don't trip over each other. But we've got to try and monitor the engine temps as well towards the end of this race. Have we just about got enough in the car? I mean, Oscar Piastri is going to be a difficult one to try and keep at bay. But I tell you what, yeah, we're able to keep up with Hamilton here. And look at that Sonoda. He's going to go around the outside of Lewis again up the top of the hill there. So nice to see that the VCARB car has got some pace. Don't really know which one is going to be worth trying to keep in front. I mean, I guess even if we lost the place to Piastri, we would still be 7th and 8th here. We've got a bit of a buffer over Lance Stroll a bit further behind. So this challenge here might actually be quite doable here. Yeah, like I said, we've just got to manage, monitor those tyre temperatures. But 25 laps to go. Surely now, yeah, with Stroll a bit further back, as long as we don't end up having a crash or anything like that, surely we're in a pretty good spot here late on in the day, as Hamilton again makes another little mistake. We're just sitting pretty here. We're just sitting very comfortable at this stage of the afternoon, and this is working out wonderfully for us. We've got a few temporary yellow flags out a little bit further back. If we can keep Piastri and Hamilton at bay towards the end, we are looking very comfortable, as Stroll's still struggling to really keep up. Everybody pretty much is on the medium, so I'm not too sure what's going on for anybody else. Yeah, even if Ricciardo, obviously, yeah, Piastri's gone through and has bolted immediately. We know Hamilton and Mercedes don't really have the pace in this game, so that's not too bad for us at the moment there. Still in 7th and 8th would be enough to achieve the objective here. And yeah, Stroll's still 7 seconds back, so we need to actually go aggressive on the tyres still, as both of the drivers are struggling a little bit to keep the temperature. And we've got a little bit of rich revs as well. But I think, yeah, this 1-star challenge is actually a 1-star challenge inside this game there. And yeah, still in 7th and 8th then just monitoring that gap to Stroll behind. I think we're pretty good. I think we're going to do this challenge. Admittedly, it wasn't quite first time of asking, but it is still going to be a fairly simple one then when all is said and done here as we slowly tick by the laps. Say the only other concern we've got is making sure that the AI don't crash into each other. As back down then onto the standard revs towards the end of this Grand Prix. It looks like Verstappen, just like we saw in real life, is just going to give himself a little bit of breathing room from the rest of the field towards the end of the afternoon. Ricciardo's good on fuel. Yuki is still a little bit further back, so we'll just get him away from Ricciardo there ever so slightly. It's not actually working for us. As, yeah, there we go. Starting the last lap then of this GP. We've got to just be a little bit careful. We'll go conservative on the fuel just to make sure that they've got a little bit in the spare as well there. But yeah, this one today, I mean, this challenge has basically just been about staying out of trouble, to be completely honest, as we're going to still be battling onto the final lap of the GP, though. Like I said, I just want to try and get both tyres, both fuel even, to plus 0.1 as well. But yeah, this has been one of the easiest challenges I think I've ever actually done inside this game so far, as kind of, yeah, just falling into place for us today. Stroll's struggling, and yeah, just going for that little bit of an undercut with Yuki there really did open up the strategy, as everybody else was a little bit reluctant towards the end of the afternoon. But Max Verstappen then making his way through the final couple of corners. He is going to claim yet another win for Red Bull inside this game there. Comfortable drive in the Canadian Grand Prix, just like we saw him achieve in real life. Ricciardo and Yuki, though, still battling it out towards the end of the afternoon here, so we'll let them both attack down in towards the final couple of corners, and we'll let them both use the deploy as well there. As yeah, we've just about got that fuel back to in the positive as well there, so we've timed that to absolute perfection. Norris will come through for P2 ahead of George Russell there, so a podium for Mercedes as well. I'm sure they'll be very, very happy with that come the end of the weekend there. Yuki, don't crash into him, please, into that final chicane. I think I would actually cry if they let us down right at the end. Can we get a photo finish on the run towards the line? Tsunoda's going to try it. Less than a tenth of a second in it, I believe, when they cross the line. But there we go. Challenge complete here inside F1 Manager. That one, yeah, a one-star difficulty. That actually was a one-star difficulty, but good fun as well. I think Canada this year was one of the best Grand Prix so far. So, nice to relive that as well.
The drivers make their way back to the pit lane, and there we've got Daniel Ricciardo.
7th place at the end of that one, and some points for the team.
Well, Max Verstappen can add yet another podium to his already impressive record. Plenty of smiles for the cameras as the drivers can let off some steam here in Montreal. And that's it for this weekend's F1 action here in Montreal.
Formula One will be back to Europe for the next round, on the shores of the Mediterranean, with some heated competition to look forward to in Spain.
And there we go then. We got exactly what we needed from that challenge there with the 10 points. I think with a bit of micromanagement, you might be able to beat Lewis Hamilton as well. But ultimately, yeah, I don't think we can complain about that one. And there we go. Another challenge inside this game done and dusted there. I mean, Hamilton actually and Piastri got back to Alonso by the end. So I reckon theoretically, you could probably walk away with like 24 points from this result there. Ricciardo won better than he did IRL, and Yuki Tsunoda, you can see 6 positions better than he did IRL as well there. So a good race done by the team. Sargent, the only driver out in the end. Ferrari, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc both actually survived this one. So does Alex Albon, who gets a point for Williams as well. But there we go then. Another challenge complete inside F1 Manager 24. We are slowly but surely getting through them on this game. Like I've said, I don't want to give up until I've got every single one done, which I believe will be 53, if I'm not mistaken, in this game. They might add a few more down the line. Only time will tell. But thank you all so much for watching. Please do make sure to leave a like. Get yourself subscribed if you have enjoyed. We're trying to hit 3K subs on the channel at the moment. And yeah, we'll be back very soon with more F1 Manager 24 content.